Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is November the 27th, Thanksgiving Eve. We got every team on the card for today in the NBA outside of two. I think I'm not sure which other team is. I know Boston doesn't play today, but outside of Boston, everybody in the NBA is playing today. So we'll go through a recap as we always do. I do want to address something just real quick before we get started. A couple people were asking what happened to the recap graphics, and it just really hasn't been updated. It's a lot. I talked about it yesterday in the comment section, but it's a lot to produce the show, create the graphics, all of those things, especially as early as I do the shows in the morning. I think if I'm being completely honest with you guys, and I said this before, capping the WNBA, like when I wasn't capping the NBA over the summer, was so much easier when you only got 12 teams. Like, it's so much easier to stay on top of things, just do a quick cap and be done. NBA been really kicking my butt, especially on days like the day when you got 5 or 6 when you got, every team playing in the NBA. So the graphics will be up. Like, as you guys know, I am down. As you guys know, I'm always transparent. I was down in the playoffs last year. We still had a profitable season, but I am down right now. I'm down about, I think, 14 units right now. So we'll get it all back. Like, it's not like I'm afraid to put the numbers up or not going to put the numbers up, but we'll get it all back. We'll get it all back then some. We had actually been on a nice little run up until yesterday. I only gave out one play yesterday. It was the under between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets, and I'm really just kind of frustrated with the Minnesota Timberwolves because they did all the coming back in the world just to end up losing the game in overtime. The game finished at 208, so we would have had an easy winner under 220. They forced overtime just to lose in overtime. So Timberwolves, we'll talk about them today, but I think they kind of cost us yesterday, and it almost broke me, if I'm being honest, because it's been a rough season. It's been a rough start to the season, but when you consistently take losses like that last night, I mean, it makes the season even rougher. So I got a couple plays that I've locked in for today, a couple things I'm looking to add, but I won't be super heavy on a big slate. So let's jump into it for today, man. Let's go through a couple of the comments and we'll get started. Expecting a lot, and I see a lot. What's up, Mark? What up, Mitchell? Says big slate today. What up, Prolific? He says those short slates are janky as they come. Sometimes they can be. What up, G Hurt? I think the big slates can be janky as well. He says really sweating it out with the Bucks yesterday. My goodness. Yeah, I talked about liking the Bucks. I didn't think the Giannis wasn't going to play. I'm expecting the Heat to play a little bit better in the first half today after allowing Damian Lillard to do whatever it is that he wanted to do. I can imagine that Spoelstra was pissed yesterday. What's up, Tasha? She says happy holidays to everyone. She took the Bucks on the money line last night and got paid. What up, GLB Bets? G. Hurd says, I had Bucks +2 and thought I was going to need every little bit of it. Yeah, you absolutely did. What up to my guy, LJ? Spanky says Sixers money line and the +5.5 today. We'll talk about that game. Jalen, what's going on? Corey, what's going on, my brother? He says, happy holidays to everyone. Let's run it up. Today, 14 games is locked in. JM in here. Marquise in here. Spanky says, this is the spot. You take the Sixers. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Let's see. What else? What up, Charles? Justin says top of the morning. What up to my guy, Justin? All right, let's jump into it, man. I can't get through all the comments. It's a lot. It's a lot of comments. Big Smoothie in here, Brian in here. Adam says he's up about 25 units. That's because I don't play all the. Sometimes it just leans at him, and for whatever reason, those are the ones that typically been cashing for me. But I'm glad that you tuned in from Cal's show. Shout out to Cal. Most of you guys probably follow Cal, but Cal, I do Cal's show with him at 4 p.m. Eastern time for people who are interested as we get more data throughout the day, more injury updated information and all that stuff. So let's jump into it for today, man. Let's get right into it. First game up, we got, check jaXon out if you guys haven't looked at jaXon at all today, but jaXon has a lot of great sports betting insight for you guys. So if you're interested in, having the work kind of done for you, and then you can just listen or read the opinions of kind of like a chat GPT, then you could back the play if you want to, or fade the play if you want to. depending on what it is that you like. There is a promo code for jaXon in the description of the video if you guys sign up. And I know people are continuing to sign up. So definitely check jaXon out, man. I think the best time to do it is when you get a 50% off discount, and they're still running the 50% discount. So check jaXon out. It can make you tables, analyze player props, give you injury update, all that. It's a lot of great stuff that jaXon does to make your sports betting journey a little bit easier. Let's jump into the games. And one more thing I want to say real quick before I jump into the games. Today is the day before Thanksgiving. We got to remember that. Each team has the day off tomorrow. Some of them may care about today's games a lot more than others. Some of them just want to celebrate Thanksgiving with their friends and families. They may not be locked in this spot. So you really want to be able to find the motivational spots on a day like today. Same thing like around the Christmas holiday. If you're betting on some of these big favorites, especially home favorites, I think that the advantage goes to the road team. So just a little tidbit for you guys, because you're on the road, you're gonna be a little bit more locked in. When you at home, you gotta plan all the stuff and get the money to the family members that's gonna be getting turkeys, and it's a lot of coordination that goes into being the home team, especially laying a big number. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that real quick because I did jot that down yesterday. Let's jump into it for today. First game up, we got is Atlanta and Charlotte. My notes are kind of out of order, so I'm gonna have to find these games. All right, so Atlanta, Charlotte. This line was at 12 yesterday. Money has come in on Atlanta in this spot. Injury news, we got Trae Young listed as questionable with an Achilles injury. We got Dean Wade and Karis LeVert both listed as out in this game. You got an Atlanta team, 3 straight losses, 3 straight non-covers. They were actually a home favorite the other day against the Dallas Mavericks on the second leg of a back-to-back and got smoked in the fourth quarter. Just flat out got smoked in the fourth quarter. Atlanta's defense has been absolutely terrible. They've given up 120 points, 136 points, and 129 points in their last 3 games. They do play against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They host the Cavaliers on Friday. So this is the first of one of those 2 little back-to-back series. On the Cleveland Cavaliers side, they've been the best team in basketball outside of losing to Boston earlier. When was that? Last week? Coming off 2 days rest, 5 straight covers, and they land points. We know that they're laying points. So this has been a really, really good team in basketball. 5 straight covers. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games against the number. Still only have 1 loss, like we talked about against Boston. I think they're 18-1, 17-1. I know that the money is coming in on Atlanta in this spot. Don't know if I could quite get there with Atlanta, especially without knowing if Trae Young is going to play in this game. When I think about Atlanta, I think about a team that I want to catch points with rather than laying points. We talked about that the other day. No way I'm laying with Atlanta, but I don't think I could touch this game without knowing the status of Trae Young. I think Trae Young means a lot. Achilles is something that even though they've had a couple days off, and they do have the rest disadvantage in this spot. Trae Young popping up on the injury report yesterday, I don't think it's good at all for this game. If you like the Atlanta Hawks, you do want to take points with Atlanta, but Cleveland could clean Atlanta up in this spot if I'm being honest. I think Atlanta did beat Cleveland outright the last time that they played. Also, when I think about Atlanta, I think about a team that when they play their best basketball, they're attacking the rim. When they beat Boston outright earlier this season, they were attacking the rim, putting a lot of pressure on Boston's big men. And you can't really do that with Cleveland. Like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley not going for it. Tristan Thompson off the bench. I can't quite get there with Atlanta in this game. I can see Cleveland potentially overlooking the Atlanta Hawks. And like I said, it's the first of one of those little mini back-to-backs. So I'm not going to play this one at all. I'm going to sit on the sideline in this spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking when in this one, if anything at all. Jazz over was air last night, Helm says. Atlanta Cavs, you said Atlanta Charlotte. Yeah, my fault. Glad you caught that, Jenna. It's Atlanta and Cavs. You see it on the screen. Mr. Nice Guy said he liked the Hawks to cover. LJ says just keep taking the Cavs. They're 5-0 against the spread in the first half at the home versus the Eastern Conference. And it could really just be that easy. It could definitely be that easy. I think Atlanta has been playing a little bit better in the first half than they have for the full game, but I'm going to look a little bit deeper into this. I'm going to make me a short list. Appreciate you for shouting this out, LJ. I'm gonna write down a couple plays from the chat today and put some initials beside and put some names beside them. So if I end up telling anything, I can give you guys credit for it. But I could get there with Cleveland potentially in the first half. They have been, I think, one of the best first half teams in the NBA. Jadon says Cavs gonna clap them today. Jody said, I don't trust Atlanta. And if you don't trust Atlanta, you typically don't trust Atlanta. Like I said, you don't trust Atlanta as a favorite. If you look at Atlanta, just real quick, because I know a lot. I don't really feel like being a teacher today, but I don't really feel like teaching too much. But I will say this: if you look at Atlanta, if you look at the Hawks just over the last 2 seasons, you don't want to lay points with them. If you get them as a road dog, and let's just say that they're getting 7 points or more, never mind. They ain't even profitable in this spot either. They're 5-10 against the number. Yeah, Atlanta probably gonna get smoked today, man. They are 5-10 against the number, getting 7 points or more over the last 2 seasons. Last season and this season, they've only covered 5 of the 15 spreads, so about 33% of the time. Yeah, I could see a Cleveland team total up and over. Brian says Cleveland first half full game. Cleveland minus 3.5. Detroit money line plus 395. Crazy, I know. JM says. Yeah, I don't like that Detroit money line, but okay. Under total seems to play. So real quick on this note, G, I did look into this yesterday. I was looking at, and I don't even think I wrote this down. I was up late last night trying to look into these games. I was looking at home favorites this season that are laying, I think it was 7 or more. So home favorites laying 7 or more with a total that was greater than 234, something like this, 235. Or was it just double digits? Let's see. That's what it was. All right. So home favorites this season, double digit home favorites this season, with a total of 230 or more, are 10-3 to the under. So that says Atlanta team total under. I do think that the Cavs gonna be able to score in this spot. But the road team is not showing up to play in these games. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 team total unders out of the 13 game sample size for the road team that's getting double digits. So 10-point dogs, they only averaging 105 points per game. So Atlanta full team total under. I feel like a lot of people think the Cavs just play offense. The Cavs have actually been one of the better defensive teams as well. So I could definitely see an Atlanta team total under in this spot. I forgot to write this down yesterday. I should have wrote it down. Atlanta team total under, based on, like I said, home favorites, double-digit home favorites with a total of 230 or more. This season, 10-3 to the under, game stand under by 10.5 points. So I'll say that. Walter says Hawks play better defense without Trey. I agree with that. Last year, Atlanta was better without Trey. At least felt that way. So they were actually better with Trey when DeJounte was out than when DeJounte was in and Trey was out. But I'm not sure if it was like just with Trey or not. 5 Star says like the under. I'm off the Hawks for now. I can see that. David says I think it's close either way. With 1 point line closing to land around 10. Cleveland is winning by 8-14 in my opinion. I can see that too. I do think it's going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game though. Helm says, not sure what the updated numbers are, but around 12 games into the year. I know the Hawks were 30-61 against the spread going back to last season. Yeah, I thought you wanted to take them as a road dog, but I was wrong on that one. Merrill says he liked Capella over his 8.5 rebounds. I was looking for Capella rebounds. I couldn't even find it. Cavs all day. All right, I can't go through all the comments. Jalen Johnson over his 12.5 rebounds and assist line. I couldn't talk you off that. Jalen Johnson over his points, rebounds, and assists. What up, Jose? 5 Star likes Evan Mobley over his points, rebounds, and assists. What up, Val? He says just pulled up. Not sure what games I missed, but let's get this bread, everyone. This is actually the first game. I'm gonna go through a couple of them a lot quicker. We'll see what happens with Trae Young, but I think an Atlanta team total under makes the most sense. I like what LJ said as well about this is not a game that I had bet, so I like what LJ was saying about a potential first half of Cleveland, especially if he doesn't play. Atlanta team total under 115.5 is the best number that you can get right now. Yeah, I could see an Atlanta team total under in this spot, but you need Cleveland to be locked in defensively. We'll see how it goes. Hawks don't cover. I say Cavs first half and full game, David says. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next game. We got like a million games to get through. Next one up, we got the Portland Trail Blazers and the Indiana Pacers. Like I said, my notes are not in order, so I got to find the game. All right, this opened 10.5 yesterday. Total was at 227.5. It's up to 232. So some money has come in on the over here. You got Portland, not in a great spot here. Last of a 5-game road trip. They got smoked against the Memphis Grizzlies, and this is a poor offensive team and a really bad and a very injury riddled team is what I'm trying to say. 6 straight unders for the Portland Trail Blazers. So this total's going up. I don't know if I agree with the total going up. I think it might have been Dropping Dimes who came into the Discord the other day and said, yo, I think I'm gonna just keep playing Portland team total under. And to me, it kind of makes sense. You look at the injury report, Jeremy Grant is still listed as doubtful. DeAndre Ayton has been upgraded to questionable. He hasn't played the last few games. Scoot Henderson is listed as questionable. Robert Williams will miss this game. He got put in concussion protocol following the Memphis game. And Neil Klingen is out for 2 weeks. So I guess I understand why people thinking that the total is going to go up when you don't have as much rim protection. But if Ayton comes back, I don't think that helps the offense as much. He'll probably be a little rusty. And he does protect the rim. So I'm not ready to quite get there with the Pacers. I know I'm not laying 10.5 with the Pacers. They didn't even cover against the New Orleans Pelicans the other day. So it'd be a Blazers spot for me or nothing at all. I also wanted to mention that it's only, I think, 4 teams in the NBA, and I'm gonna let you guys know who they are. It's only 4 teams in the NBA today that are playing their 7-game and 11 nights. That's been a super fade spot this season. I think those teams are only covering the spread about 35% of the time this season, and the Pacers are the team in this spot. I know it's a bad spot for Portland as well. Like I said, last of a 5-game road trip, they could potentially say this game's a throwaway, especially if Jeremy Grant gets ruled out. But if Jeremy Grant gets ruled out, that's a lot less points as well. So I'd be looking towards the under, and I'd be looking towards the Blazers in this spot. That's the only way that I would be looking in this game. Didn't even really look at player props at all in this one. So we'll move a little bit faster through this one. DC Sean says Portland team total under. I'm not sure if I can play Portland team total under against the Indiana Pacers though. Boy, is the Pacers defense bad. If we just look really quickly, let's go to Moneyballer real quick. And look at the Pacers. Let's look at the Pacers opponents real quick. Let's see who has been scoring the ball, like if the Pacers have actually been stopping teams. And I want to say no. I know me and Ski talked out a Pacers team total, a Pelicans team total over the other day, and that was a winner. So let's go to this game real quick. Let's go Pacers and Trailblazers, and let's also just look at the Pacers. They've been much better at home. They are 6-2 to the over at home, 4-4 against the number, only winning by about 3 points per game. Last 2 games have actually gone under. They've only held 2 opponents under their team total so far this season in their 8 home games. I'm not even sure what the number is. I know it's probably an inflated number. Let's see. For the Portland Trail Blazers, you can get a 109.5. I don't know. The Pacers probably. I feel like the Blazers can get the 110 against the Pacers. I could be tripping. Let's see. Their opponents are 13-5 to their team total over, and 4-2 to their team total over if the Pacers are a home favorite. I know that the Trailblazers typically don't get to their team total. They are 11-7 to the under on their team total, and 8-2 to the under if they're a road dog. But I kind of like the full game under. I don't think the Indiana Pacers offense is going to get to 122 points either. The Portland Trailblazers play at one of the slowest paces in the league. So I like under in this game more than anything else. James says Portland plus 17. Shaden Sharp points, Dougie Bone says that might be something I can get behind. Let's see. Pacers blow the doors off today. Holly might finally might have been finally unlocked last game. I don't know. I know he had a good game. Shout out to Halliburton for having a good game. I don't know about this one though. Pacers strike me as a team that I'm not taking to win too many games consistently. And they've had some really easy opponents as of late. Remember, I said this last week. I said, luckily for the Pacers, they got some really easy games coming up. They beat the Wizards. After the Wizards, they got, who did they just beat? They beat the Pelicans. And now you get the Blazers. You're supposed to go on a 3-game winning streak, in my opinion. Don't forget the Chauncey Billups speech. Yeah, Adam. I know they got smoked against Memphis the other day, but I need Jeremy Grant in if I want to take him in this spot. If I'm being honest, I need somebody that's gonna be able to pass, be able to score the basketball outside of Anthony Simons and Shadon Sharp. Val says, how can anyone confidently bet anything within a Portland game? how can you lay points with the Pacers? Is what I'm thinking. What up, Lightbearer? Appreciate you for tapping in. Blunt says Blazers play slow. Blazers play slow. Pacers play fast. Tough to pick a side here, Chris. Yeah, I think I'd take the points, like David says. What up to my guy Fred? Happy holidays to you, bro. You and the fam. Hope everything is going well with you, man. Hope all is going well with you, bro. Ron G says, I like the first half. Team total over for the Pacers. Dropping Dom says Pacers have so many injuries. They can't play fast as they did last year. Last game versus the Wizards went under 2. Yeah, Dropping Dom's back-to-back unders for the Pacers as a home favorite. I'm right there with you. I think the market hasn't caught up to that. So that's a sharp look from your opinion and my opinion as well. I like that. I think under in this game is the best play, and I don't agree with the total going up, especially if Jeremy Grant gets ruled out. So I'm going to write that on my short list for this game. Portland and Indiana under. I think the best number you can get right now is 232. I don't know if the Portland Trail Blazers get to their team total, and I don't know if the Indiana Pacers get to their team total. And remember, I said this the other day, but looking at the Trailblazers, they've gone under. That game went under. Shout out to GLB Bets. That game went under the other day against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Blazers have played, I want to say, 6 straight under games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight unders for the Portland Trail Blazers. And they've held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their last 7 opponents under their team total. The Grizzlies only went over by 1 point the other day. And they also don't contribute a lot. So I like under a little bit more than anything else. I know that it's the Pacers, blah, 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 blah. I like under. Let's see. What else should I say about this one? Indy all day, James St. Patrick says. Robinson says, anyone taking the Pacers with the spread should get their Gremlin card revoked. That's how I'm kind of thinking about it as well. David says Pacers 10-7-1 against the spread. Pacers 7-10-1 against the spread. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go over to the next game. I think we did a pretty good job here. Under for the full game, especially if Jeremy Grant gets ruled out and if Aiden gets ruled in my opinion. All right, let's go over to Rockets and 76ers. This line was at 5.5 yesterday before the news came out. At least that's what I think I wrote down. Let me go find them. So it's actually 6. Rockets were laying 6 as a road favorite in this game. This total was at 212.5. It's been bet all the way up to 219 now. Of course, the Rockets went to overtime yesterday, so second leg of a road back-to-back. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not the greatest spot for the Rockets. I told you I was going to tell you guys when teams were playing their 7-game and 11 nights. This is a spot for the Rockets. Remember, they had the back-to-back home games against the Portland Trail Blazers. They won the first one, lost the next one. And before that was a 3rd game in 4 nights. And then you're looking at a 4th and 6. A 5th and 8, and like I said, overall, this is the 7th game in 11 nights for the Rockets. They were so drained last night, literally could not make a shot in the 4th quarter. But they did what they needed to do to get a win yesterday. I should have just played the Rockets instead of playing the under. I'm being honest with you guys, that shit still hurts. So on the opposite side, you got the Philadelphia team, the team from Philadelphia. 2 days rest in this spot. It's a spot for the team from Philly, if I'm being honest. They're 2 days rested, last of a 3-game homestand. Only 2-8 straight up, and against the spread in their last 10. They're 7-3 to the under in their last 10 games because their offense has been really terrible. And I think that probably continues in this Houston Rockets game. I don't think I necessarily agree with the total going up this high. I think that this is more of an under game. For the injury report, the Rockets get to, kind of release their injury report later in the day. We'll see if anybody gets added. Fred VanVleet had a big game yesterday. He played a lot of minutes. Paul George and Joel Embiid have already been rolled out, and Caleb Martin is listed as questionable with a back injury in this spot. I don't like the team from Philadelphia. I'm just being honest with you guys. But the spot does say that it's a team from Philadelphia, the team from Philadelphia's spot in this game. So when you just look at this happened early in the season as well. When you look at these unrested teams that previously won a road game in overtime, they're only 31-68 straight up in the next spot. So that's 31%. They only cover 33% of the time. 32, 65, and 2 against the number. I just can't do it. I can't put my money on a team from Philadelphia anymore. I'm down units. I don't think I'm getting any of them back with this team that's in red, white, and blue tonight. So I would be looking towards their team total potentially to go under. I do think that they still gonna struggle to score. I know Maxey is back, and I don't got no beef with Maxey, but everybody else on the team is you know what? My mama told me if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm gonna be quiet. But I don't got no problems with Maxey. I'm just not trusting in the ability of the other players. Let's put it like that. Let's see. Anybody got thoughts on this one? Not a game that I'm gonna be interested in playing. I think I would probably, if I had to play anything, and I know that the starters played heavy minutes last night. I talked about Alfred Sengun going up and over his points prop on the prop cast yesterday with Munov, and he got to the window pretty easily. That's something that I could see happening again. When I think about the Philadelphia team, I don't think about a team that can protect the rim really well. I know Drummond is a great rebounder. He's not a great defender, though. The problem is Sengun played 42 minutes yesterday. He did go up and over his points prop. It was at 17.5. Shot 9 for 23. I just don't like it that he played 42 minutes yesterday. I think this is a slower paced game. The Sixers don't play fast. The Rockets have been playing fast, but I can see them really slowing down and kind of running out of gas. I will wait till this total goes all the way up, and I'll probably take the under. And potentially still looking towards a Rockets. A Philadelphia team total under in this game as well. The Rockets have been elite defensively. They would have held the Timberwolves under their team total yesterday if the game didn't go to overtime. So that's the way that I would be looking to play this one. And just to give you guys some numbers really, really quickly with the Rockets and, just them being elite defensively, I think they're third rated defense over the last over the full season. Their opponents are 15-2-1 to the under on their team total. So I think that's the way that I would look. I'm not betting on that team from Philadelphia, man. Or just full game under. 2 days rest compared to none says that the team typically plays a little defense. You can get a Philadelphia team total under 107.5. It looks like it's the best number. And that's the way that I would look to play this one. Or just full game under. The one thing I do want to mention just very, very quickly is the team from Philadelphia. They played a very similar brand of defense the other day when the Clippers came into town on Sunday, and they didn't get to 100 points. I don't think. Just double check it real quick. Yeah, they scored 99 points against the Clippers the other day. And the Rockets defense, in my opinion, is either just as good or better than the Clippers. So that's the way that I would look in this game. Let's see what y'all are saying about this. Rockets win the cup. Give me the Rockets, Tasha says. No Embiid, and then they need to trade him. Philly not better. Not better than Minnesota, I think is what you mean. Backwood, Tasha says, 76ers spot or not, it's a pass. I agree with that, Jalen. What up, YBB? He says 8 a.m. show to kick off my road trip. Yeah, we're going to get through all the games today. Well, most of the games. Well said, Chris. When they show me, I'll lay it. Yeah, that's how I feel about him. That's exactly how I feel about him. Ron says he's going to ride or die. He said, I'm a diehard fan. I'm cool on betting us tonight. Maybe props on Jared McCain. McCain has been good too, man. I got to give him a little credit. LJ says his Rockets are a young team. They will be ready for this team from Philadelphia. Plus, the team from Philadelphia is only 4-12 ATS in the first half. He likes the Rockets early. I can see that. I thought about that yesterday too, LJ. I'm glad you mentioned that. Real quick, you can get a because if you do think they're gonna run out of gas, it don't mean that they're gonna start slow. You can get a Rockets -2.5 right now on DraftKings at -114. It looks like it's the best number. Shout out to my guy LJ from H-Town. Rockets first half -2.5. Just write DK beside it. Write that down. I think that's a really good look. Alvin says, I think the team from Philadelphia is going to lose more than they will win. They win, forget a short, long-term profit. I don't understand. David says, if Clippers can beat them by 25 in Philly, the tired Rockets should be able to win by 6. And yeah, the spot just doesn't align, but I'm in agreement. I'll keep my money on the sideline in my wallet. Go buy extra turkey and give it to somebody, a couple extra turkeys, and give them to people before I put it on the team from Philadelphia. Next game up, we got the Bulls and the Orlando Magic. Game will be played in Orlando today. Let me get to my notes for this one because, like I said, I'm a bit unorganized today. Let's see. All right. So line open 10.5. It's still about 10.5 right now, I think. Total ticked up just a tad bit. I saw it yesterday at 223.5. It's up to 224 on a couple books. This one kind of sitting still. So you got a Bulls team on the second leg of a road back-to-back. Of course, they were in DC last night, beat the brakes off the Wizards. That laying that 5.5 was the easiest bet. Like, the easy bet's been cashing. Boy, the easy bet's been cashing. Washington is terrible. We'll talk about them in a second. They did the Bulls did beat Orlando the only time that they played earlier this season. They beat them 102-99 on October the 30th. So about a month ago, and they were 5.5 point dogs in that spot. This line is absolutely, this is a huge line. And I want to say this is not just a conference game. I want to say it's a divisional game, but I'm not sure. Are the Bulls and the Orlando Magic in the same division? Y'all let me know. I can look it up, but y'all let me know. That game that they played earlier did go under the total. That was at 227. So injury report in this one, we got Gary Harris listed as out. And then Wendell Carter Jr. is set to make his return. Jalen Suggs is off the injury report. No Paolo Banchero, of course. Not sure if Patrick Williams is going to play. He did not play yesterday. And on the Orlando side, I mean, this is just pretty much, I mean, it's what do you do with Orlando? You don't fade them. You play them or you stay off of them, especially at the crib. 9-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games overall. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. Defense has been absolutely dynamite. They're 8-0 straight up, 7-1 against the spread at home this season. They're also 2-0 against the spread as double-digit home favorites this season. They've covered both games. I know we played them against Brooklyn earlier this season at the beginning of the season before Paolo got hurt. They won that game by 15. They also beat the Wizards in this spot, I think it was as well. So I looked at the Bulls as double-digit dogs. This only happened once this season. And they got smoked against the Dallas Mavericks. They lost that game 99-119. So I do think it's an Orlando spot. I didn't lay the points in this spot. Maybe I'll get there throughout the day. Been kind of putting my bets in a little bit later unless I feel like I'm going to have a lot of CLV. I didn't think that this line would move too much just because, 10.5 is a pretty big number. I do think Orlando can win the game and cover by this number, though. And then I told you guys that earlier, the thing I was going to be sharing is who's in one of those major fatigue spots, and the Bulls happen to be in that spot today. This is their 7th game in 11 nights as well, so it'd only be Orlando in the spot for me. Only way I'm looking to play it. And that's just super quick cap. Let's see what you guys are thinking here, if anything at all. OJ says short Sengun on his props maybe. I'm going with the better team. I'm laying the points, AB says. Okay. Yadon says under looks good here. Think about that last game. JM says Houston needs that 2 wins in a row. They do. Let's see. Vooch over his points plus rebounds, Merrill says. Over his assists as well. Love some Vooch today. Okay. Brian says Orlando at home and on the road, a moneymaker. They absolutely are, man. What's up to my guy Chad? Hey Chad, hope all is well, bro. Feel like I ain't seen you in a while. Hope you killing the NBA. I'm getting crushed still. Actually, I think I've won 8 of my last 10 or 7 of my last 9 or something like that. So I guess it's been a little bit better, but still getting smoked overall in the season. Not concerned, but hope you're doing well, bro. Happy holidays to you and your family, Chad. A frequent flyer in the ChrisBeCappinn community. Jalen says, give me the undefeated Magic at the crib, minus 10.5. Like I said, only way I'm looking at it too. David says, seems like a dirty line, like the Magic to win, but double digits is a lot. They typically win by double digits at home, though. I think that's That's the reason why the line is so heavy. Book's not gonna give you a consolation prize for betting the Magic. The Magic are winning by an average of 16 points per game at home. 15.6 to be exact. 15.6 per points per game at the crib. They've actually covered every spread except the game against the Pacers, which we were on them against the Pacers. They won that game by 4, was laying 5.5. I remember that. And this is just where they play their best defense at. Different divisions, AB says. Okay, so I was wrong there. LJ says, what's the status on Paolo? We need him back in the lineup. Yeah, I think he'll probably be back next week. But he's not going to return in this game, LJ. They ain't like they need him. Derek says Magic revenge spot. Lost the first game. I talked about that. He says Chicago team total under 106.5. Magic have one letdown, let one team clear this number at the crib this year. Yeah, I think it's an under game as well. I like the under. I can see a Chicago team total under in this spot as well. I'd probably just lay the points. I think that's probably the best look. But a Chicago team total under 106.5, like I said, it makes a lot of sense to me just because this is, what did I say? 7th game in 11 nights for the Chicago Bulls. Let's see. Any upsets today? Namdi says, I think it could potentially be a lot of upsets. We'll see how it goes. Magic for sure. Dropping down says Bulls team total under. I do not do college basketball, but it's a lot of people. I created a Discord to talk about NBA, and it's more people in the Discord talking about the NCAA. So if you want access to the Discord, just shoot me an email at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2Ns or DM me on X at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2Ns. And yeah, you can get access to all of, I mean, it's free. Like they just in there chopping it up, like everybody sharing plays, sharing looks. It's a beautiful site over there, the ChrisBeCappinn Discord. Chicago on the road, double-digit underdogs think they have a winning number. Okay. I probably need a break too, Chad, if I'm being honest. I got to get back on track, man. Lingowick says Bulls is a bad basketball team. GLB says Discord is fire. A lot of great cappers in there dropping mad knowledge, and I agree, including GLB. He got some systems that's been absolutely crushing. No NBA tomorrow. Chris, Cash, happy Turkey Day to you. Same to you, Scott. Appreciate that, bro. All right, let's move on to the next game. We just chatting now. Let's go over to the Clippers and the Wizards. I did bet this one. Right? I'm pretty sure I bet this and sent it out last night. I only sent out 2 plays to the members. Let me just double check. I think I sent this out. It's a couple other plays I actually want to make in the same game, but when I was going through my numbers earlier, that's the time that I've been getting smoked is when I try to make 2 plays in the same game. So I think I'm going to stay off of that. But yeah, we got Clippers in the Wizards. Game will be played in DC at the Capitol tonight. Let's get to my notes in this one. So we got a Clippers team coming off 1 day's rest. They got smoked in their last game in Boston, lost that game by 32 points. They play in Minnesota on Friday. You could say it's a look ahead spot, but I honestly don't think so. I love that the Clippers are on the road in this spot because they're away from home. And I talked about it earlier. You probably want to take some of these road dogs, in my opinion, that's getting, well, either, that's going to be even super motivated to win and going to have less distractions. The Wizards, they probably going to be super distracted in this game. I'm not messing around with the Wizards, man. This is a 3rd game in 4 nights for the Los Angeles Clippers. It's also a 7th game in 11 nights for the Clippers. So I don't like that as much. But, I mean, we're talking about the Wizards here. They've lost, I think, 11 games in a row. The only wins that they have came against the Atlanta Hawks, and that was like a month ago, it feels like. They're 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. 2nd leg of a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights. Norman Powell has been upgraded to questionable. He's missed the last few games with a hamstring injury. Jordan Poole didn't play yesterday. I think it was a back injury. Not sure if he's going to play in this game today. I could see them kind of resting him again. The Wizards don't want to win. I don't even think they want to be competitive at this point. This is not a competitive basketball team. When I look at the head-to-head matchup, the Clippers have beat the brakes off the Washington Wizards 9 of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. They've covered 9 of the last 10 spreads as well, including 6 straight spreads have the Clippers covered when they've been playing against the Wizards. So I did lay the points. We're here with the Clippers. -10, -10.5. I think both of those are good money. I also think, I talked about this yesterday. I just couldn't quite get there because it was the Bulls defense. But I'm on Moneyballer. I'm looking at the game yesterday morning. And for people who watched the show yesterday, you'll remember me saying this. I said the Wizards are 7-0 to the under on their first half team total. And the number yesterday, I think, was 57, 58 and a half, something like that. And they scored 47 points against the Bulls in the first half. 47 points against the Bulls in the first half. I think that you run it back today. I know that the total is a little bit lower, but the Clippers are a much better defensive team. I think you get a locked-in effort from the Clippers here, especially after losing the game the way that they did against the Boston Celtics by 32 points the other day. So you can get a Wizards team total under 51 and a half. I think that's a really good look. I think the Wizards ready for Thanksgiving, man. Also, from a player prop perspective, I'd be remiss without mentioning James Harden. James Harden, over 8.5 assists, best number over on ESPN Bet at -110. These are unofficial plays. I did not play these two, but I did lay the points with the Clippers here. I'm not sure why you wouldn't take James Harden to get a double-double in this spot, to go up and over his assists at 8.5. This is a Wizards team that bleeds assists to the opposing point guards. I think the worst defensive team in the NBA over the full season. I could see James Harden has like a 32% usage rate as well. So I'm not gonna complicate this one. I did play the Clips, and I think that they smoke them in this spot. Let's see what you guys are seeing here. Let's go back real quick. Brian says, I follow a shorty who works for the Rockets, and she was on IG at 3:30 this morning talking about they just got to the hotel in Philly. Might be a fade spot for the Rockets, but I ain't putting my money on Philly. And I agree with that. So they probably did get there. I mean, that's not a super short flight, right? Minnesota to Philly. Yeah, that's not a super short flight. And they probably would have got there super late. After the game, teams still got to do media. The planes got to get fired up. So that would make sense that they got in super late. And that's why I like the under. And I think if you like the Rockets, you want to take them in the first half, like LJ said. So that's what I'm thinking about that, Brian. But I do appreciate you sharing that. And it doesn't surprise me that they got to the hotel at 3:30 a.m. They'll probably have shoot around in about 2.5 hours. Go back, hopefully take a nap. It's a pretty young team outside of Fred VanVleet. Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. It's a Sir Thompson. Like, they got some young guys. The old guys like Jeff Green sit on the bench. So I like that. LJ says Clippers first half, no cap needed. Just fade the Wizards. Fade the Wizards, no cap needed. He likes the Clippers in the first half. The Clippers are also, I think I wrote it in my notes yesterday, Clippers, a good first quarter team. I forgot to mention this. They're 6-2 against the spread in the first quarter, and that's on the road. They actually been a very good first quarter team at home as well in that Intuit Dome. But they're 6-2 against the number in the first quarter on the road. They're coming off that, like I said, that loss against Boston, but they got smoked. I think they probably threw that game away. They smacked the Wizards. The Wizards are not a real NBA basketball team, if I'm being honest. So I did play the Clippers. Seems probably easy, but I'm cool with the easy play in this one. Let's move over to when Mark says he got Clips. Same with the Washington Wizards long-term profit. I agree. Drop a dime says Wizards team total under 105.5. I like that look a lot. Chad says honestly would take -10 against the Wizards on back-to-back against any team in the NBA or WNBA, and probably some college teams. He might even lay a -10 with the high school team against the Wizards at this point. And I agree. Robinson says Wizards first quarter has always been cash. I don't know about that right now. I do think that they get worse as the game goes on. They're probably the worst second half net rated team in the NBA, so I could agree with that. What else? What up, Joe? Says tuning in. He's on the Magic. He did drop that in the Discord yesterday. LJ likes Harden over his assists, Zubac over his rebounds. He says it's been great this season. I couldn't talk you off. Miami Heat and the Rockets are losing today, Mr. Nice Guy says. Okay. Let's go over to this Miami Heat and Charlotte Hornet game. So Miami also put themselves in a pretty rough predicament yesterday. This line was at 4. I think it's still at 4. So you got the Miami Heat short road favorite here against the well-rested Charlotte Hornets. It's actually coming down to 3.5. So people are betting Charlotte in this spot. The total is actually moving up. Yesterday this was 217. It's up to 218. I see right now some 217.5 out there. So just shop around. Injury report. Kevin Love did leave that game yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks with a back injury. He did not return. That's going to be interesting to see if he plays. Miles Bridges is listed as out for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm guessing Trey Mann is supposed to come back because I didn't see his name pop up on the injury report when I was doing my own injury report yesterday. Let me just double check it real quick. I'm seeing Trey Mann still listed as out in this game. Yeah, he'll be out. He's still out. Trey Mann will not play in this game. So you got a Miami team that had actually won 5 straight in the head. They've actually won 5 straight in the head-to-head series with the Charlotte Hornets. They're like the big brothers of the Charlotte Hornets as well. They've covered the last 3, and the only meeting that happened early this season. I remember that game. I was on Miami in that game. If you guys remember, that was the game after Miami had lost at home on who was it? Pat Riley night when they retired when they did the ring ceremony or whatever. I was like, yeah, they about to smoke Charlotte. And they struggled, but they ended up pulling away late. They struggled to close the game, but they ended up pulling away late. The Charlotte has been competitive, but it's really just LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, in my opinion. This is not a good basketball team, man. They did keep it very competitive against the Orlando Magic the other day. But ultimately, I can't put my money on Charlotte in this spot. Could they be the right side? Yeah. Could they keep the game close? Absolutely. But Miami lost that game last night. They probably gonna be super motivated in this spot, losing to the Bucks without Giannis. And that's what the Miami Heat do. They lose the games that they should win. They win the games that they should lose. They also like teetering. As far as like win-loss. They don't ever want to win. I don't think Miami wants to win 3 games in a row. I think that would just not be a part of their identity. So if I'm playing this game, Miami has been a better first half team than full game team. And I'm not saying that they're gonna run out of gas here. I don't think that happens, but I do think that they put together a much better performance in the first half than they do for the full than they did in the first half yesterday, but they gave up a ton of points. I just think that they'll be locked in from the beginning here. So Miami first half will be my top play in this game. Charlotte's just they're a little bit too depleted in my opinion. I can't mess with Charlotte right now. You can get a 1.5 with the Miami Heat in the first half on Bet365 right now. That's the way that I would play this one if I was going to get involved. Bet365 got the best number for people that are interested. Outside of that, I think player prop wise, we got to look at Diabate. I think is how you pronounce his name. He's been playing backup center for the Charlotte Hornets, but his minutes have actually been there. Like he's been playing a lot more minutes than Taj Gibson. And they are starting Salem, I think is how you pronounce his name, with Josh Green. Like this is a makeshift roster that honestly LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller just been carrying. So I couldn't talk you off of thinking LaMelo is going to go crazy in this game. He could absolutely go crazy. Brandon Miller could go crazy. But I would look at Diabate's rebounds. The number this morning when I woke up, it wasn't available last night, but the number opened up at 10.5, and I think that that's pretty telling. I think that he has a big rebounding game here. We got a super low total. Miami always misses a lot of shots. This is not a great offense. And Charlotte is depleted at big man. We know Grant Williams just tore his ACL. Mark Williams is still out. Nick Richards is still out. And I looked at Diabate without Miles Bridges on the floor. He's averaging 12.6 rebounds. He's gone up and over to 10.5 in 5 of the 6 games so far this season without Miles Bridges playing. He's also averaged just under 26 rebound chances per game in 30 minutes per game. So he plays super hard. I think he is trying to earn his playing time for Coach Charles Lee. So I do like Diabate up and over his 10.5 rebounds here. I didn't play it because it's only available on Hard Rock, and Hard Rock limits me to just a few bucks. So I can't get in on Hard Rock. That was just the only line that was available when I looked at it this morning. So that would be my play in this game if I'm playing a player prop. Right now it's still and it's juice. It's minus 125, only available on Hard Rock right now. But I do like Diabate's rebounds in this spot. I think he's going to get a ton of action here. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Excuse me. Chad says can only look towards the Hornets, not laying points with the Heat. I think you could lay them early with the Heat, Chad. But I can understand that. I did not a top bet of the day type spot for me. I didn't play the game either. Under Hornets scored 84 points last game. I do like under. If I had to play the game, I'm not looking towards the over in this spot. Charlotte don't have offense. Like it's just LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. I mean, I guess you could say Steph Curry a little bit when he gets hot, but I mean, this is not a great offensive team without Trey Mann, without Miles Bridges. The Heat are also not a great offensive team. Like nobody on the Heat really scares me. Tyler Hero can get hot. Jimmy Butler probably not going to be locked in and, motivated for this game. This is the Terry Rozier revenge game, I guess you could say, but I'm not sure how much revenge he has. I think he liked being in Charlotte. He liked playing. He loved his teammates while he was there. So I guess that's one way you could look at it. I can't get there. Ron G says, I'm on the Hornets. He likes the under 217. I think the under is a little bit better. JW says Scary Terry is motivated for the return of the revenge game. I'm not sure how much is the revenge game though. G421 says Hornets first half cover. I think it's the opposite way. I think you see the Heat come out and cover this first half. Longer the game goes on, the more it favors Charlotte, in my opinion, with the Heat being on the second leg of a back-to-back. So yeah, that I would play Miami first half. Diabate up and over his 10.5 rebounds if I was going to get in, put any action in this game. Next game up, we got the Knicks and the Mavs. This line opened at 3.5. I want to say is what I saw that yesterday. Maybe opened at 4. Total is at 235. I know that the money has come in on the over in this spot. Let me just get an updated line. So 4 is actually touching 4.5 on a couple books right now. Total has actually come back down just a little bit, 234.5, 235, depending on where you're shopping. You got a Knicks team that just blew the doors off Denver. They only got 1 day's rest. They scored an NBA high 145 points in Denver the other night. I know OG Anunoby had 40. Karl-Anthony Towns had 30. Jalen Brunson had a career high 17 assists, I think it was. This is their fourth of a 5-game road trip that ends in Charlotte on Friday. But Dallas, first game back home after a little 3-game road trip. They played 7 of their last 9 games on the road, so not a great spot for Dallas. And they beat the Atlanta Hawks outright. I think it's a 3.5, 4-point dog in that spot. Derek Lively is listed as questionable with an illness in this game. Quentin Grimes is also listed as questionable with an illness. They might got something going through the locker room. And then Klay Thompson, who missed that game in Atlanta with plantar fasciitis, is still out. No Luka. Luka is still out as well. And I think on the Dallas side, I know that they got let me just double check it. I know that they got Miles McBride back in that last game. So I think they got a clean injury report outside of the usuals. Precious Achiuwa has yet to make his return. And of course, Mitchell Robinson has also yet to make his return. So, man, as much as I think this is if the easy play is just take the Knicks, right? Like you just take the Knicks. I know Dallas has been, pretty good recently, but you look at the injuries, the Knicks they should be able to score the basketball, in my opinion, in this game. The problem here is, do the Knicks put together back-to-back efforts? And I have a hard time trusting that. I think if you want the Knicks this season, you wanted the Knicks off a loss. I think they've only lost 2 games in a row. They've only lost back-to-back games 1 time this season. So if you look at the Knicks, just real quick, if you look at the Knicks after a loss this season, they are 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the number, winning by average of 13 points per game. If you look at the Knicks after a win, they are 4-5 straight up, 3-5-1 against the number, only covering 37.5%, winning by 4 points per game. So this is not a game that I'm really interested in, if I'm being honest. I just have no idea. The Knicks have been so up and down, Jekyll and Hyde. This is the same Knicks team that just went to Utah a couple days ago, well, actually on Saturday. They were laying 8.5, lost the game by 15. They go into to Denver, mile high altitude, and get absolutely just smoke the Denver Nuggets the other night. I question motivation for the Knicks in this spot, if I'm being honest. So I stayed off of the game. Maybe they do score. I see some Knicks team total from G421. Maybe they do score the basketball. Maybe Dallas runs it up as well. Maybe it's just an over, but not anything. I just don't feel confident in this game at all. Do not feel confident in this one at all. Let's see what you guys are saying. Chad says all over the Knicks here. He likes the Knicks. Drop a Dime says what I said. This game is weird, and I kind of agree too. Luka will still be out. He's supposed to be reevaluated, I think, at the end of the week, G421. LJ says Brunson assists, averages 11 on the road versus the Western Conference. Jose likes the Mavs. Jalen Brunson coming home to put up 30. I forgot Jalen Brunson don't like the Mavericks. I forgot about that. He played for them. My fault. I did forget about that. Brunson and Kyrie both for 30 today, AB says. I could definitely see that. Derek says he likes over 234.5. He says the Knicks are 5-3 to the over on the road as favorites. Dallas 7-0 to the over as underdogs. Knicks 7-3 to the over on the road in general. Dallas, number 2 offensive rated team at home last 5 games. Knicks, number 2 offensive rated team last 5 games. I could definitely get there with an over. I could see an over in this spot. Knicks offense is crazy good when it wants to be, because they can get smoked by the Jazz too. So don't get it twisted. But this is a worthy opponent. I feel like they get up. Thibodeau should have the guys motivated. I'm gonna write Dallas and I'm gonna write New York and Dallas over. I'm gonna write that down on my short list as well. Don't know if I'm gonna get there, but it makes a ton of sense. Over 234. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Chad says Knicks are meshing nicely, finally. Really like what I've seen on both ends last few games. Knicks comfortable. Okay. What else should I say? Doggy Bone says someone call CPS on Tibbs. He played his starters until 2 minutes left in the game, up 25 last game. That's Thibodeau for you, man. That is Thibodeau for you. Andrew says Knicks have turned the corner. I don't know what corner, but I think they turn the corner after they lose every game, Andrew. I can't say that they turned the corner when I watched them get obliterated by the Utah Jazz the other day. It's not a corner in my opinion, but they did look really good against the. I want the Knicks off a loss. That's how I want the Knicks this season. They struggle. Teams struggling with motivation. Like, it's a long season, super long season. Shout out to Cal. Cal Kerms. Cal said something the other day when we was on his show. He said, the NBA is more like it's more like MLB than it is like NFL, where every game counts. In the MLB, like you have no idea, like you lose, like okay, cool. I just try to win the next game, right? We just try to get a win tomorrow. And I already kind of thought like that, but I think I needed that reminder that these teams are, just because they land a big number, they're not gonna cover all the time. Like, they don't care about covering. Sometimes they care about winning, and you're gonna see dogs win outright. And we're gonna talk about that when we get into a couple of these other games as well. Just the effort, like, it's not gonna be there every single night. Teams not gonna be locked in, and you want to fade the teams after big wins most of the time, and you want to buy on teams after they've lost by a big number if you think that they are worthy of your investment on them in that game. G says I never feel comfortable betting Knicks. Yeah, I can't quite get there, man. G421 says Cat points plus rebounds. He's been going off lately. Knicks are rolling. I think over is the best bet, David says. I kind of like that too, man. I only care about coverage, AB. Only care about coverage. JW says I'm on the Blazers money line tonight. Ooh, spicy. I've been noticing Brunson been going under his points with Cat in this on the team. What Jackson say? I can look into that later. I don't know if you're in the Discord, G421, but I can ask Jackson what Jackson would say about Brunson points. I'm not looking to take Brunson going under his points though when he in Dallas though. That ain't the spot. Especially coming off 17 assists, it's probably a bounce back point spot. I'm not messing with him going under, man. That ain't something I want to get. I want to be sweating out on Thanksgiving Eve. I'm good off that one. Let's go over to Raptors and Pelicans. This line is actually the eye screen getting lit up right now. 2.5 looks like it's moving to 3 on most books. Total 222.5. So that hasn't really moved a lot at all. Notes for this one. We got I had notes everywhere, man. It's like 5 pages. All right, so we got total did drop a little bit. When I wrote it down yesterday, it was 223. This line was at 3, so money coming in on the Raptors here. Toronto third game of a 4-game road trip, back-to-back losses in Cleveland. At home to Cleveland. Then they went to Detroit and Jaden Ivey gamed them. They've actually lost. They've lost a lot. How many have they lost? I want to say they've lost like 8 or 9 in their last 10. I thought I wrote it down. I think I didn't. But they are 5-5 against the number. On the Pelicans side, they've been god awful as well. Only 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games. But they do have back-to-back coverage. They covered against the Golden State Warriors at home on Friday. They went to Indiana, was getting 7.5, 8 points without Brandon Ingram. They covered that game. And they have the major rest advantage in this game, in my opinion. Not just based on like when the two teams are played, because they both only have 1 day's rest, but the Raptors have been traveling all over the place. The Pelicans actually hadn't played a game in quite a while before playing Golden State on Friday. So I like the rest advantage here for the Pelicans. They do get DeJounte Murray is listed as probable. He's gonna make his season debut for the team today. You got Trey Murphy, who's listed as probable. Brandon Ingram is listed as questionable, and Grady Dick, who is a big offensive piece for the Raptors, he is still out in this game. So you don't like that as much if you like the Raptors, in my opinion. And I just watched the Raptors struggle against the Detroit Pistons without Cade Cunningham. I don't feel like I want to put my money on the Raptors. I do like the Raptors as road dogs. I think this is a Pelican spot, though. I think they'll be fired up, be motivated in this spot. This is not a team that's been winning games. I feel like DeJounte being back is going to help them. Maybe even a Pelicans team total, a Pelicans first half bet, just because they should be fired up, come out with a lot of energy and effort, especially if Brandon Ingram gets rolled in. I do think the Pelicans are better than the Raptors. And with the Raptors only getting 3, you kind of need them to win the game outright. I don't know if they can win this game outright. I like the Raptors. I do. I love Scotty Barnes. I love RJ Barrett. I think Jakob Poeltl is a tad bit underrated. Chris Boucher off the bench, but I think the Pelicans can get the job done. They got Hawkins back now. CJ McCollum making his season debut, his home debut off the injury report as well. He came back in that game against the Pacers and played pretty well and played a bunch of minutes in that game. So I think it's a Pelican spot. I think it's a Pelican spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up, Daff? Appreciate you for tapping in. He says 1:30 here. So stopping by to say what's up to you and wishing you luck. Appreciate that, man. He likes Daff like Brandon Miller. Rebounds ladder up to 10 on his card today. Daff been cashing. The player props that Daff been giving out been absolutely money. I've been trying to check them out as much as I possibly can, but check Daff out if you guys have not. GLB says, I put a system in the Discord last night under 223.5, but I still like it at 222.5. So thinks that the game goes under here. Raptors offense has been struggling to score recently. They didn't even get to their team total against Detroit, and Detroit off defense have been really, really struggling to get stops. One of the reasons they hadn't been covering games. So I could see that in this spot as well. GLB. AB says the toilet bowl game. JW says DeJounte Murray is back. Pelicans minus 2.5. I mean, they gotta win at some point, right? Yeah, I'm in agreement with that, man. New Orleans minus 2.5 would be the way that I would play this game. And if you want it, you probably want to get in early before Brandon Ingram gets ruled in. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not, but I do think there's a Pelican spot here. AB says if Ingram is out though, he wants the Raptors on the money line. What up, prestigious prodigy? RJ been balling. Yeah, he has been hooping, man. I like RJ a lot. David says love the spot for the Pelicans, but I like how the Raptors are playing. They fight. It's a spot for the Pelicans to get a win, and I agree with that as well. Derek says the Pelicans are 8-1 against the spread in the first half at home this season. They are. I don't think they've been laying points a lot, but they have been super feisty in the first half. They've been covering a lot of numbers in the first half. DeJounte being back could throw the chemistry off a little bit, but it's his first game back, so you got to figure out how he plays with CJ McCollum and Hawkins. But, I mean, they're going to have so much more offense, in my opinion. You got Hawkins out there. You got Trey Murphy out there, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, who can actually lock up and play some defense, and potentially Brandon Ingram. I do like the spot, man. They just gonna have to rebound the basketball. The Raptors are a really good rebounding team. So you can't. Messi gonna have to be cleaning up the glass against Jakob Poeltl. But I do think it's a Pelican spot. Did not bet it, but that's the way that I would look. I don't think it's anything wrong with a Pelicans first half number here either. Like Derek mentioned, you can get the Pelicans first half right now. Minus 1.5 on Bet365 first half. Minus 1.5. Bet365. Okay, I'll write that down. Let's keep it moving. I think I got a couple more I want to get to. Next one up we got the Detroit Pistons and the Memphis Grizzlies. 1, 2, 3. I got 3 more games I want to get to after this one. I think the only game I'm not gonna break down is the Lakers game. Boy, I don't want to talk about the Lakers. The Lakers and the Spurs. I'm not playing that game. So that's the only one I didn't want to break down. All right, so let's jump into this one. We got Detroit coming off a couple days rest. Let me get to my notes real quick. Detroit. My fault for being so unorganized. I do not like being unorganized. All right, so we got a Detroit team. They did beat Toronto in an emotional win on Monday night with Jaden Ivey hitting that game winner. They didn't cover though. They were laying points. Jay Ivey hit a game winner on the right hand side on the baseline, a little floater. I can't remember if it hit. I don't think it hit glass, but they have failed to cover 4 straight games. Have the Detroit Pistons. So I think they are coming off one day's rest. On the Memphis side, don't look now. I think Memphis is 4th in the Western Conference. They've won 7 of their last 10. They've covered 9 of their last 10. So I'm pretty sure they got the best ATS record over the last 10 games. 3 straight wins and 3 straight covers for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant has been rolled out for this game. On the Detroit side, Cade is listed as doubtful, and you got Tobias Harris listed as questionable. Memphis, they own Detroit. So maybe this is one of the spots where, you overlook the non-conference opponent that's coming in, especially after coming off some really big wins. Like Memphis is eventually going to drop the ball. They just beat the Portland Trail Blazers by like 30 the other day. And they clicking on all cylinders. So that's the other thing. It's like, do you want to fade Memphis? But in a non-conference game with Cade Cunningham potentially listed as questionable, I'm not quite sure for the full game. Memphis is 8-2 against the spread. I'm sorry, Memphis has actually won 9 of the last 10, and that's what I mean by owning them. They've actually won 9 of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. They've won 7 straight against the Pistons. They've covered 7 straight against the Pistons, and it's typically under games. They're 7-3 to the under in the last 10 meetings between the two teams. One way, if you guys remember, if you've ever been a part of like the Twitter spaces that I used to do back in the day, we used to cash on Memphis first quarter. Their team total used to be gold. We made so much money betting Memphis team totals over in the first quarter. Memphis is kind of getting back to that. They're actually 8-2 against the spread in the first quarter at home. I don't think that Ja Morant means that much because he only came back for one game. Now he's out, and they were doing this when he was playing. They've been the second. Their 8-2 record in the first quarter is actually second best. And this is at home specifically, the second best behind only the Clippers. Even with Ja Morant out, even with Ja Morant only coming back for one game, I do think that they could have a big lead against Detroit early in this game, especially if Cade doesn't play. Memphis is averaging 32.3 points per game in the first quarter. They're only giving up 26.6 in the first quarter in their 10 home games so far this season. Detroit has been feisty in the first quarter. I think they're about like they don't get blown out in the first quarter. I think they lose by a little less than a point actually. But I do think that Memphis should be able to score the basketball. They play at an extremely fast pace. I think they can speed Detroit up in this spot. Maybe a Memphis first quarter. Maybe I got to get back to Memphis first quarter, either team total over or Memphis first quarter spread look in this game, especially with Detroit coming off the emotional win for Jaden Ivey. So that's the way I would look in this game. I think Detroit also got a cup game on Friday, so they could potentially be looking ahead to the cup game as well, and not really, taking these non-cup games too seriously, just because they are still undefeated in cup play, I think. So that's the way that I'm looking in this spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one, and then we'll keep it moving. Chad says, no way in hell I'm laying points with the Pelicans. What are we doing here? It's not a lot, though, Chad. I'm not needing them to win by 6, and I didn't bet it either. I'm not needing them to win by 6, but the Raptors, can they keep it within a point? Can they keep it within a possession? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. LJ says he likes Memphis in the trifecta spot. He says, I keep saying they turn up at home 60% against the spread against the East going back to last season. Yeah, I was going through some of my losses this season, and one of them came with the Memphis Grizzlies when they lost to the Brooklyn Nets of all teams and then they got Brooklyn on the second leg of a back-to-back. I took their team total over, and they scored 106 points. Boy, that's how my luck has been. Memphis has been killing since then, but that's the bet that I put in. Grizzlies balling, Chad says. OJ says, small note on this game. Malik Beasley had a birthday yesterday. The team was out celebrating late. For what it's worth, Memphis team total, first quarter team total is probably like, let's see, I got first quarter team totals. That's all. I appreciate that, OJ. I'm gonna see if I can go find that too, though. But I like that. I like that a lot. Memphis first quarter team total is Memphis been starting off hot. 29.5 on Fanatics. They also limit me, so I have to get a 30.5 on other books. Over on DraftKings, or first quarter spread, which is first quarter spread is -2.5 on BetMGM. I'm gonna write that down too. Memphis first quarter Yeah, I think you want Memphis or you want to stay off in the spot. Lakers been traumatized. I can't even talk about him G42. I don't want to talk about him today. LF3 says Detroit goes on a scoring drought. Give me the Grizzlies, and I agree with that. Especially if Cade's not gonna play. And I can see them resting Cade in this spot to get ready for the conference, get ready for the cup game. I think that they got on Friday. Mark says Memphis first quarter. It hit the other day. I think it did. Let's see. What up, Fahrenheit? Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, let's keep it moving. Don't sound like other people got a lot of thoughts on this game. Let's go over to Kings and Timberwolves. Y'all gonna have to help me with this one. I know I'm not playing the game. I don't care how you slice it. But we can talk about it. So both of these teams, I think, are actually probably on a lot of people's do not bet list. You got a Sacramento team. This is the third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. For them, they've lost 4 straight. They failed to cover 6 straight games. We did fade them correctly by taking OKC. I know the Sharps were all over Sacramento in that spot, thinking that they were going to bounce back. They got smoked in the second half against the Oklahoma City Thunder the other day. They actually 3-4 to the under in their last 4 games. Offense has looked atrocious. I think they only scored 106 points in that game the other day against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Can't take their team total under against the Minnesota Timberwolves, though. Timberwolves have been god-awful defensively, and their offense looks terrible. They keep turning the ball over. And the Minnesota Timberwolves only 4-6, not against the spread. Well, against the spread, but also straight up in their last 10 games. The Timberwolves have looked bad. 4 straight losses. They failed to cover 3 of their last 4 games. Off an overtime loss last night against the Houston Rockets. They're just not a good basketball team. They have beaten Sacramento twice already this season. Both times were in Sacramento. Both games went over. Injury report, you got DeRozan listed as out, so that does not make me want to like Sacramento more in this spot. Trey Lyles is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Mike Conley didn't play last night. With the toe injury, he's missed like 3 or 4 games in a row. Y'all tell me what y'all want to do with this one. I'm not laying points with the Timberwolves. I'm also not taking them with Sacramento in this spot either. This is a terrible spot. The line has come down, though. People just taking the double revenge spot for Sacramento in this spot. I guess they still do got Keegan Murray. They still got De'Aaron Fox. I can't. The Timberwolves look broken with Julius Randle out there. I was watching Julius Randle last night, just real quick. Julius Randle can't go right. If he goes right, he always tries to get back to his left hand. If somebody that's a lefty, I'm a lefty. If somebody that's a lefty, you got to be able to go right and stay right. Especially if every time you go right, you try to get back to your left. So I don't like that as much. Do they have somebody that's going to be able to slow him down? Probably not. Julius Randle probably goes off in this spot. I think we gave out Julius Randle up and over his points prop against the Sacramento Kings earlier. This is not a team that protects the rim with Sabonis at center. I also heard that they were trying to sign Jay Crowder. Sacramento's in a free fall right now, man. I want nothing to do with them. I guess I do agree with the total coming down. This was at 222.5. But Minnesota defensively hasn't been that locked in. Like, I thought that yesterday they would be able to slow down Houston offensively. They couldn't. So yeah, total has come down to 219. Not touching it there. I see 218.5 popping up as well, but it's a very hard game for me to bet with. I think 2 teams that's on the non-bet list for me right now. Let's see. AB says this is when you take the Kings as a road dog with no DeRozan. Yeah, man. Let's see. Let's look at that real quick. Kings as a road dog. I know that they do play well in Sacramento. Last season, in Minnesota. Last season, they won a lot of games last season in Minnesota. I think they won every game that they played in Minnesota last season. But Timberwolves always won in Sacramento. So maybe you're right. They do got slight rest advantage, but like I said, third game in 4 nights, 4th and 6th for the Kings. So it's not the greatest spot for them. They were 10-15 straight up, 14-10-1 against the number. They covered 58% of the time last season as a road dog. That's last season and this season. So far this season, 1-1 against the number. They lost to the Lakers, and imagine that, losing to the Lakers. They lost to the Lakers and beat the Heat. If we look at conference games, They were 7-9 straight up, 9-6-1 against the spread. So covered 60% of the time. It was an under spot, 10-5-1 to the under. So about 66% of those games went under the total. So yeah, I think under makes a lot of sense, but the number has dropped. Derek says over 219.5. Minnesota 5-3 to the over as a home favorite. Minnesota 2-1 to the over on no rest. Sacramento 2-1 to the over as a road underdog. Minnesota, Sacramento played twice this year. Both games cleared the line. 232 and 256. I know that last one went to overtime. I do remember that Minnesota won that game, I think by 3 or 4 points. That game did go to overtime. So it's a super fatigue spot, I think, for both teams. I don't know if that's going to hurt the offense more or the defense more. Minnesota can't shoot the three, and Sacramento definitely can't shoot the three right now. Mark says, yeah, I was on the Timberwolves last night. Time out for them for a while. Yeah, and I'm there with you as well. G says he had Houston yesterday. What up, Patrick? Appreciate you for tapping in. DeRozan out. Yep, give me the Kings. He slows the Kings down. Okay. Dropping down says this game is weird too. Glad it's not just me. Stay away game. Props only, Robinson says. Chad says Randall is not a winning player. Can't believe the Timberwolves traded into this mess. And I agree. I think, the Timberwolves traded, just real quick, the Timberwolves traded Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle because they thought they were getting somebody that was similar, that was going to be a lot cheaper. That's what they did it for. And then you think about the ascension of Naz Reid. Naz Reid hasn't been as great. That's a big piece, man. I bet you if they could go back in time, they would undo that one. Let's see. Kings back to their original lineup. Let's go. DeRozan doesn't play good team defense. He's lazy. Derek says Minnesota 3-0 to the over with the rest disadvantage. Hard pass for Jalen. I'm right there with you guys. Justin says haven't moved, but Kings only for me. Might get there. It's a buy low spot for the Kings for sure. Not laying points with the Timberwolves, especially off the overtime game. But I don't think I could do it with the Kings. Like I said, they've lost 4 straight, failed to cover 6 in a row. This offense is broken. Somebody got to cover, though. That's the way it works. Somebody got to cover. It can't be a no team covers. Not with a half a point spread. Somebody got to cover. TC Best says, give him some bonus over his 18.5 points. Hopefully he can expose Rudy Gobert to the fake defensive player of the year that he is. Sengun did so yesterday. Sengun had Rudy Gobert working yesterday. Justin says, it's time to admit it out loud. Timberwolves' success last season was an outlier. I don't know how much of an outlier it was, Justin. I think that they were good the year before when they lost to Denver and Denver won the championship. Remember, they were one of the only teams that beat Denver in that year. They avoided the sweep. I think it's just really Julius Randle, man. I think it's the Julius Randle trade, and I keep mentioning this. I mentioned it yesterday. I want nothing to do with the Timberwolves if they do not have Mike Conley Jr. They've lost every single game without him this season, without me even looking. They lost to Toronto without Julius Randle, without Mike Conley. I want nothing to do with the Timberwolves without Mike Conley. Let's see. Rudy Gobert rebounds. He owns Sabonis. There'd be a ton of misses. I can see that, Chad. Let's go over to Nuggets and the Jazz, a game that I actually bet. I did bet this one. This was at 8 last night. I capped this game. I think it was about 1:15 this morning. I finally got to this game. And I honestly, what I really wanted to do, like it wasn't a super quick cap, but what I really wanted to do was just see what the Nuggets said after loss. Remember I said at the top of the show for people that's been watching the whole time, you want to cap motivation on a day like today. A lot of teams just, kind of can't wait for the games to end. They get on the fly to wherever they're going to fly to. I want to take the road teams as well, just because I think they'll be a little bit more locked in. And I do think we get a Denver Nuggets team that's going to be super locked in tonight. This line was at 8 when I sent it out, and I am on the Nuggets in this spot. It's up to 9.5. I still like it at 9.5 as well. The total has dropped. This opened 234. And it's down to 231. I agree with that as well. So I'm looking at the game last night, and the first thing that stood out to me was Denver. Like I talked about it, they gave up not a team high. They gave up a league high. No team in the NBA. And we got some bad teams in the NBA. We got the Chicago Bulls on defense. We got the Washington Wizards on defense. We got teams that play super fast pace. We got the Atlanta Hawks on defense. None of the teams in the NBA have given up 145 points this season. They gave up 145 to the Knicks. So that's the first thing I wanted to look at. They've been going over, whether they've been scoring or their opponents have been scoring. They've gone up and over 7 of their last 10 games. For Utah, second leg of a back-to-back. This is the third game of a 5-game homestand for them. They ended up losing and not covering against the San Antonio Spurs. Another easy play. Probably just take San Antonio. Probably should have did that. I did not invest in San Antonio last night. Utah was on their heels for majority of the first half. I think they actually won the first half and then just ran out of gas late. I think they run out of gas again in this spot. So I go back and I look at the post-game interview that happened the night before when Denver lost to the New York Knicks. And you talking about mad boy, Mike Malone was so frustrated. I actually bookmarked a couple of the tweets that I saw. So first, he dropped the F-bomb. He says, they said, this is just a throwaway game. This is one of the games you just flush it. He said, nah, we ain't effing flushing this. You don't flush a game when you gave up 145 points. We watching all the film. I said, okay. He said, maybe we should play like we actually care, and that would be great. He was pissed. So what happened was, I got a little bit of the backstory as I continue to investigate. What happened was the Denver Nuggets had just came off that big win against the Lakers, smoked my Lakers 125 to 102. I think it was 127 to 102. I think it was beat them by 25 points in LA. Jamal Murray came out after the game and was like, matter of fact, quote, "It's been a long season. Guys have lives outside of basketball. We just beat LA in LA. We've got some guys who live in LA, so we stayed in LA." I don't think we had the focus that was there from everybody. That's what happens when you don't have the focus. So you take what you want from their quote, but I mean, what he's saying is that we partied after we beat the Lakers by 25 points. We love beating the Lakers. We own them. We're the Lakers daddy, and we beat them, and we celebrated beating them. You absolutely this is gonna be belted. It's gonna be belted ass tonight. Denver Nuggets. I like them in the first half as well. I didn't play it yet. I think they absolutely come out and blow the doors off the Utah Jazz. Here was the cherry on top. Lauri Markkanen left the game last night. Did not return. Probably not gonna play on the second leg of a back-to-back. It was a left leg contusion. It was only a few minutes left, but I don't think he's gonna play in this spot. And I think that is also indicative why this line moved from 8 to 9.5. Top spot on the day for me today is the Denver Nuggets in a major bounce back spot. I think they blow the doors off the Utah Jazz today. They've actually won 3 straight. They've covered all 3 in the head-to-head matchup. All of the wins came by double digits dating back to last season and once already this season. Denver Nuggets, it's that time. It's that time. I'm on the Nuggets. I actually think it's a trifecta spot. I want to take the first quarter, first half, and full game. Just thinking that they're going to play a little bit better offensively and be locked in from the beginning of the game. I didn't get there with Denver in the first quarter, though. They've been one of the worst first quarter teams in the NBA throughout the entirety of the season. But I do think based on their poor defensive performance against the Knicks the other day, this is the top spot on the board, in my opinion. So Denver, I got 8. Like I said, last night, sent it out to early this morning, I sent it out to the members. I like Denver a lot. Belt the ass time today. Let's see what you guys are seeing here. This comment from Justin. I know I read it already, but it's just funny. Let's just submit it out loud. The Timberwolves' success last season was an outlier. Let's see. What up, Ski? Dougie Bones says Jokic triple-double plus 100 is criminal, but I'll take it. Ski says so many damn games, Chris. It's still live. Yeah, I've been live for 3 hours, Ski, and I ain't even talk about the Lakers. Not going to, honestly. Denver the top spot on the board today, though, in my opinion, man. Livestone says he likes Joker points. Chicken nuggies, Jose says. Justin says, I'm mad I missed the line. This in the members, I got 9, not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Kendrick says, look for Grayson Allen points over. We're going to talk about that game in a second, so I'll go back to that. Rudy Gobert is big for no reason. My local book had 7.5 last night when you sent that out. Thanks. Damn. You know what? It did open at 7.5, but it had already moved, I think, because of the Lauri Markkanen number. I got written in my notes that Utah was 7.5 point dogs as well, and the total was 234. Like I said, the money's coming on the under, a Utah team total under, because they will be much better defensively tonight. You can bet that. Ski says, I've been telling y'all about Julius Randle, not a winning basketball player. I do think it's a team total under spot, Justin. I really, really do. You can get a Utah team total under. This is a way you can play it a lot. Team total under for Utah right now is 111.5. I do think that is playable. Utah team total under 111.5. Without Lauri Markkanen, we know that their offense really, really struggles a lot. So I like Utah team total under. Best number right now is on Bet365. If you guys have access, write that down. Put that on the short list. No Gordon and losing KCP were major hits to the defense. Yeah, but you gave up 102 points to the Lakers, AB. Then you let the Knicks drop 145 on you. You have capacity to play good defense. If you got time today, I know I've taken up a lot of your time already if you've been watching from the beginning, but if you got time today, go through the Denver Nuggets beat writer list on my Twitter page. Hit the list, go through, listen to Jamal Murray talk about like motivation. Listen to him talk about effort. Listen to him talk about focus. Listen to him talk about how this has nothing to do with Coach Mike Malone. This is all on us, not executing the game plan, not coming out. Like I said, they was in LA. They had fun in LA. He said we got guys that live in LA, so we stayed in LA. We had a little fun in LA. We didn't have the focus that we needed against the Knicks. I bet you they have it tonight. Dropping Dime says J Money calls them the Utah ass. Yeah, take the J off. Timberwolves shouldn't have traded. David says, Chad says totally off subject, Chris, but can't wait to see what Connecticut Sun coach can do with the talent on the roster since she's in Indy now. Oh yeah. Courtney White, Stephanie White. Yeah. Her and Caitlin Clark go way back because Coach White, she calls games too. She calls WNBA games. I'm not sure if her partnership is with ESPN or not, but she calls WNBA games. She also called college games. She called a lot of Caitlin Clark games at Iowa. I'm excited for that too, Chad. Team total overs is what I'm thinking. She gonna have a lot more offense to work with than that Connecticut Sun prison ball that Ski likes to call it. Joker assist, LJ says take the over 231. He says marking hurt, Denver's going to destroy Utah. Agree with that. I like the team total under there. Utah 0-2 to the over on 0 days rest with no Lauri. Might extend it to -12. I like it. Christian Braun been hooping over 16.5 points. Jalen said cover 8 in the last 10 with 2 hooks at 16. His role has changed, been feeding this year. I agree with that. John Collins rebounds ladder over, Lingowick says. Okay, let me talk you off. Ski says, all I heard Jamal Murray say is Lakers. That was their championship. Yeah, they love beating us, dog. 10 of the last 11 games the Denver Nuggets have beaten us. We on Denver today, though. Bounce back spot for Denver. Big bounce back spot for Denver. Last one. Let's get to Brooklyn and Phoenix. This was a game that I also had circled last night. Didn't get there because honestly I just fell asleep. But I had already written in my notes like a couple days ago that this was a Sun spot. This was before they smoked the Brooklyn Nets last night. This was just like honestly like just based on the spot for the Nets. I know that the Nets have been hooping back-to-back wins against the Kings, which you kind of got to question the Kings now. But they go on the second leg of a back-to-back shorthanded with no Ben Simmons. They did get shorter back, and they absolutely demolished the Golden State Warriors as well. And now this line opened at 7, and I think the sharp money is on the Suns, and I would agree with the sharp money here. I think that they get smoked in this spot. I know it's been difficult to fade the Brooklyn Nets. I think they are the second best ATS team in the NBA right now, behind only the Cleveland Cavaliers. But you got Cam Thomas out, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nicholas Claxton, and Cam Johnson all listed as questionable in this spot. I think Ben Simmons will return. The Phoenix Suns, it's just a terrible spot in my opinion. The Phoenix Suns need to start stacking some wins together. And this is the second leg of a back-to-back, but we got to remember before they played last night and they smoked the Lakers, which they didn't need to play late into that game because the Lakers just are trash. So, they got to pull the starters a little bit. They had 5 days off in a row. 5 days off in a row. They hadn't played since they lost to the Knicks the other day. We saw what Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal means to this team. I don't think that they're going to rest. I think they're going to try to stack up some wins. You look at the Brooklyn Nets. This is the last game of a 4-game road trip. I mentioned them, getting back-to-back double-digit. They were double-digit dogs in both of those games against Sacramento and Golden State. They won one with offense, one with defense. They've played 8 of their last 10 games on the road. So this should be a major phase spot. Teams that played 8 of their last 10 games on the road they cover less than 43% of the time, I think is what the number was. And shout out to my guy RC. He actually put me on that trend last season. It's something that I've been really paying attention to. And it actually, I don't think it's happened one time this season. I think the Nets are the first team in the NBA this season to play 8 of their last 10 games on the road. So this is a major letdown spot for the Nets, in my opinion. And I know the last couple games have also been major letdown spots, but I do think the Suns smoke them in this spot. I didn't play the game. Like I said, I missed the best of the number. It was at 7. It's up to 9. I do think that they can win the game by double digits, though. I think they run them out the gym. And you can still get an 8.5. Actually, matter of fact, on Bet365. So that's the only way I'll be looking to play this one. Phoenix up and over. Phoenix at 9.5. I'm sorry, 8.5. 8.5. Bet365 for people who are interested. And that is the card for today. I didn't go over Golden State and OKC just because I have no idea what's going to happen with Steph Curry. What I will tell you guys really quickly on that game, Golden State opened, I think, as a 2-point dog. Honestly, I don't know what it was before Steph got listed as questionable, but Steph is listed as questionable. You got OKC coming off 1 day's rest, short travel from Sacramento where they won and covered. They took care of us the other day. They do got the Lakers up next. The Oklahoma City Thunder do on Friday. And then on the Golden State side, back-to-back losses. They lost to the Spurs on Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Lost to Brooklyn as well. 3 straight non-covers for the Golden State Warriors. They've actually failed to cover 6 of their last. Only covered 1 of their last 6 games. Have the Warriors, and they're 4-1 to the under in their last 5 games. Steph listed as questionable. Kuminga dealing with an illness. Caruso's listed as out. I think Casey Wallace is going to play in this game. And then, like we talked about, Isaiah Hartenstein is back as well. So you do got a revenge game for OKC. They got smoked 127 to 116, the 6.5-point home favorites when they were playing the Golden State Warriors earlier this season. That game was on November the 10th, so 17 days ago. That went up and over to 228.5, and you see this total. This total is it's not on the screen, but it's at 229.5. So the money's coming in on the over in this spot. What I'll tell you guys, I was reading through the beat reporters because I know Steve Kerr having a hard time sleeping at night, losing back-to-back games as double-digit favorites. Not that, like he cares about being a double-digit favorite, but they're supposed to win these games. So what I'll tell you guys is the Warriors had an extensive practice yesterday. This is a game that I would probably look towards the under in. I know that both of these teams play, but the OKC don't really play that fast. But I know that Golden State has been playing a little bit faster. This is a game that I love OKC. They've cashed a lot of tickets for me so far this season. I would be looking towards the under in that game, or maybe even an OKC team total under. I do think that if Steph Curry plays, they're allowed to win the game as they always are. OKC is a really great team. Got the revenge, but I'm not willing to bet against Golden State after 2 straight losses. Maybe you guys are, but I would only be looking towards the Warriors in a full game to go under the 229.5 if I had to bet this one. KD over 22.5. What else? Jamal Murray talking himself over tonight. Cam Johnson revenge game. Lingowick says the injury report for Brooklyn is crazy. I would have to take them in the first half in full game money line if they had Nicholas Claxton, Cam Thomas, and Johnson. LJ says he's on the Nets first half. Suns 0-4 ATS in the first half at home versus the East. Cam is questionable too. Yeah, did I mention Cam? I thought I mentioned Cam. Maybe I didn't mention Cam. Cam Johnson is listed as questionable as well. I thought I mentioned Cam. I said Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Nicholas Claxton all listed as questionable. JW says KD gonna cook Dorian Finney-Smith if he plays. DFS is listed as questionable as well. I mean DRS. DFS. I wrote DRS in my notes. OKC with or without Curry tonight. Okay. So you're saying Golden State's second unit might come to play then, Chris? Yeah, I would think that they do in this spot. I would absolutely think that they do in this spot. All right, let's get into a quick recap, man. Like I said, the only game I didn't go through was the Lakers. It hurt my heart to go through that game. The two bets that I did make for today are the Clippers. I think you just I think you can blindly fade the Wizards every single game almost. But I like that the Clippers are coming off a 32-point loss against the Boston Celtics. So I did lay the points. I laid a -10.5, I think it was. Maybe -10. Had to go check that. And then like I said, Denver, I'm on Denver today, I took 8 last night, or 8.5, 7.5, something. I forgot what I took last. I think I took an 8. But I like Denver tonight a lot. These are my favorite two bets on the board. The ones that we talked out, though, which I think we did a good job of talking some out, which is why the show has been so long today. I think we got a couple really good spots talked out today. LJ mentioned Cleveland first half. I'm going to just put these on the screen so you guys can see them. Cleveland first half against the spread. That number is -5.5. Excuse me, -5.5 on BetMGM right now. I actually like Atlanta team total under 115.5. Remember, we talked about a super strong trend in that spot that says that game goes under. What else we talk about? It's a lot of stuff to write down on the short list. Portland, Indiana under. Excuse me. Remember, Portland has went under in 6 straight games. Pacers also not playing that fast right now. So Portland, Indiana under. Philly team total under 107.5. Even if the Rockets struggle offensively, I mean, they still can lock up Philly defensively. Houston first half, I think LJ mentioned that one as well. Even if they run out of gas, it probably won't be early. Even if we get into the hotel at 3:30, which somebody mentioned earlier. Chicago team total under 106.5 in the Orlando game. I also think Orlando can cover the number as well. I think Orlando can cover the number. I didn't play it though. Miami first half, just because they came out so poorly in that game the other day, last night against the Bucks. I think that they come out a little bit more motivated, could potentially run out of gas late in this spot. New York and Dallas over. A lot of different ways to get paid today. Over 234. I like that look a lot. And then we also talked about, that's a long list, man. Let's see. All right, y'all bear with me for a second. All right. I think it's a New Orleans spot, man. I know you don't want to lay points with them, but I think New Orleans, if Brandon Ingram gets ruled in, I think it's a New Orleans spot. So I'm gonna add that to the short list, especially with getting, CJ McCollum debut, home debut, DeJounte Murray season debut. Memphis, we talked about them first quarter, minus the 2.5 has been golden recently. Utah team total under 111.5, and then Phoenix. I may add Phoenix minus the 8.5. I do like Phoenix a lot. So that's the short list for today. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you guys can see it. Only two bets that I made though was Clippers and Denver. Clippers minus 10.5. I also like I said that the Wizards, I didn't add the Wizards team total, first half team total under 51.5. The Wizards are 8-0 to the under in the first half on their team total. They have not cleared their team total one time this season as a home dog. So I like that a lot as well. Didn't add that. James Harden over his 8.5 assists, I think, is another great player prop. And Diabate, I didn't add him either. Over his 10.5 rebounds against the Miami Heat today, I think is a really good look as well. He's going to play at least 30-plus minutes without them having a true center and, playing behind Taj Gibson today. So a lot of really great looks, man. I hope you guys found the show helpful and something that you like It's probably here. Daniel says, what about Isaiah Hartenstein rebounds? Yeah, he could have a really good rebounding game. I think the Golden State Warriors play with a lot of effort today, though. Like, that's the only thing that scares me off. But, I mean, it doesn't mean that Isaiah Hartenstein is not going to get a bunch of rebounds. Not even sure what his number is. So I would need to look a little bit more into that. But so it's not anything that I locked in or played. Let's see. Isaiah Hartenstein is, I see a 9.5, but it's super 9.5 juiced at FanDuel -135 or on DraftKings -129. Looks like it's the best number for Isaiah Hartenstein. Let me talk you off. Best of luck to everybody. Appreciate you, AB. Tyler says, have a great Thanksgiving, Chris, in chat. Thanks for all the great insight. Appreciate you, Tyler. Mark likes that Jazz team total under. I like it a lot as well. Appreciate you for tapping in, Prestigious Prodigy. Jaden dropping some looks in here. He likes the Suns, the Nuggets, the Clips. I like all of them. We aligned today for sure. He says he would go Orlando too if Suggs is in for sure. He is off the injury report. He's supposed to play today, but we know players get downgraded all the time. Bulls team total under. We talked about that. GLB Bet says got to head out for a meeting. Thanks for, as always, Chris in chat. Let's cash today, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back on Thursday, as GLB Bet said right there. Appreciate you for tapping in, Justin. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, man. Enjoy the day today. Enjoy the games tomorrow, of course. We'll be back on Friday. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Last, as always, resources that I use to handicap the games are always here. If you guys are interested in checking them out, referral codes in the description of the video for everything. Super long show. I'll break it up into chapters for people who join late and want a handicap of a specific games, as I always do. Yeah, best of luck to you guys on all your action, man. Hopefully you guys cash. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you guys on Friday. Enjoy your what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, enjoy your Wednesday, and enjoy your Thanksgiving as well. I'm out.